If you missed the first part of this debut episode of Gourmet Biker, here's what happened. We rode out to Sakleshpur, more specifically the historic Manjarabad region. Our destination was a 550-acre Harley Estate and Goldenwood Eco Homes situated around 3,100 feet above sea level. The ride was brilliant and we were received by the charming sisters Chandini and Tapaswini Purnesh, representing the 5th generation of the family that owns this lush haven in the hills. Our first meal at Harley Estate was a wonderful orientation into Malnad cuisine. The word derived from Malenadu, meaning land of the hills. The cuisine, rich and varied and distinct in its use of rice, meat and fresh produce foraged from the region. Here's the second part. I was up early the next morning, just in time to catch a glorious sunrise over Harley Estate. The setting was surreal, birds chirping, the fresh air. It's a feeling that's completely rejuvenating, especially for a city dweller like me. I set out for my rendezvous with Chandini to walk around the estate and hopefully gain some insight into life on a plantation.
Morning. Rest well?
Very well. I mean, look at this beautiful scene and the beautiful air. That's the one thing that immediately hits you when you come into an environment like this. That's right. This is about 500 acres.
Yes, we are about 550 acres here, and predominantly coffee. We also have some side crops, pepper, cocoa, cardamom.
All right.
Yeah. Goldenwood, we started with trying to create an experience for our guests along with a story. So we want our guests to actually see what it's like to be living on a plantation like this.
So a big part of Goldenwood is also the eco aspect.
Yes.
All right.
So we're trying to be as sustainable as possible. We generate our own electricity. We use solar and hydropower through the property. We also have like zero plastic waste that are coming out of there. The rest of the organic waste we use, we actually make compost on the estate and we use it on the plants.
All right. So it's completely recycled.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes. Okay. We have different cottages. Each cottage is styled at a different time in history. So we are going to walk up to one now, which is actually the oldest one, which is almost 100+ It's a mud house.
Okay, so you've preserved the architecture.
Yes, we've preserved the architecture. We've preserved all the woodwork and everything in it. So you actually go back in time, disconnect from everything else.
Back to the good old days.
Yes.
So you've really preserved this as a way of life.
Yes, so as much as possible we've tried to retain things as they are in their natural beauty, right from the landscaping, the spaces around us. So there are like rose bushes here that are over 50 years old. The red oxide inside is original, that was done 100 years ago. So the landscaping, even when you just sit outside, like you're looking at the paddy fields on one side, you're looking at the coffee estate on one side, you have the stream flowing between them. So we haven't tried to change anything, we haven't tried to modify it or make it more nicer for people to actually come and maybe sit there. We wanted to keep it as natural as possible.
Wow, this is quite something. It's very different when you're looking at the coffee estate
from the outside.
And when you're in here. So when it comes to coffee, I mean, there are two types of coffee.
Yeah, two types of coffee that we sell commercially.
All right.
One is the Robusta and the other is the Arabica. So we have both on this estate, predominantly Robusta. We have about 30% of our plantation is Arabica.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what goes into deciding whether you plant Robusta or you plant Arabica?
So the weather conditions, the land that you have, all of this determines what kind of plants will grow better in that
Okay.
area. So April is when we have the blossoms,
Okay.
and your entire estate is white, perfumed.
Alright.
You can, it's just 3 days of like absolute beautiful, flowers right through the
It must be
estate.
surreal at that
Yeah.
point of time. So you've got hundreds of acres and you just see a
Right.
white.
And anywhere your eyes can see, you just see white.
Wow.
And, yeah. Post that is when these berries start coming in.
Alright.
These are what grow to become bigger berries. When they're ripe, they're a dark red.
Okay.
That's when we harvest them. So the harvest season is typically between November to February or March. Yeah.
And so you harvest them and then they go through a process before.
Yes. So these are the pepper flowers that are just coming out.
So these will.
Yeah, these will what will become the corns, and then.
Alright.
So other than pepper, we also grow cardamom, cocoa,
Okay.
and areca in this estate.
People are a very integral part of,
Yes.
all
yes.
this obviously doesn't happen just by
Yeah.
itself. So nature does
It's-
play a hand, but it's the people. And the one thing, you've got armies of people. That's what I guess it takes to look after something like this. And the other aspect that I noticed when I looked at all the houses, you've got the estate manager's bungalow, you've got the workers, quarters and all of that. So it's almost like a township.
We have almost about 150 to 200 people who are permanent
Okay.
labor here. And so we provide housing for all of them. We have a school that's running for their children, so we want to make sure they're not wasting time here. They're actually learning something in their free time. We provide nutrition drives, healthcare, utilities.
We had covered nearly a small area of the humongous 550-acre estate, but all that walking had left me hungry. And that's when our thoughtful host announced that she had organized a plantation breakfast with a bit of a twist.
So today for breakfast we have akki rotis.
Okay.
That is rotis made out of rice.
So that's a staple,
Yes,
rice.
that's a staple here.
Okay,
We're having that with fresh homemade butter.
okay,
So this is something that we call chigli chutney.
okay.
It's made out of ants. So we usually grab the nest and wash it out and make the chutney out of the ants that are remaining in it. It's actually very sour. It's
Is it?
very
Okay.
high in vitamin C.
All right.
Yeah.
Ants, and for breakfast, not quite the twist I had expected. And as Chandani gleefully extolled the virtues of these fiery things, I tried hard to appear unmoved. Thankfully, there were other dishes on the menu that didn't crawl or sting.
This is fish curry. And we have something called kesa.
Okay.
So that's again a local delicacy, which is basically colocasia leaves that are knotted up and then made into palya form of dish. This is again another seasonal delicacy, which is halsan hittu,
Okay.
which is made out of jackfruit.
Okay.
It's like a cake that's made out of jackfruit.
In fact, this takes me back, this jackfruit preparation. In fact, I think it's also a very South Canada
It
thing.
is, yeah.
I remember, I think when I was a kid growing up, my mom would cook this.
So we also have some fruit here that are just growing around us,
Wonderful.
which we've cut. There's some local honey to go with any of them if you'd like.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try a bit of the chigli first. Bit of this. So is this enough?
You can have a lot more than that.
A lot more.
Yeah.
Okay. With some ghee.
Yes.
With some
With
akki
akki
roti.
roti.
Okay. And some butter on the akki roti.
On the akki roti.
So I got to mix up the
Yeah.
ghee and
Yeah.
the. So if you didn't tell me that we were eating ants, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
Like you said, it's sour, but it's also very grainy.
It is. So you
Right.
can,
So are they-
there are different styles of preparing it. So
Okay.
some people actually make it even finer and add it with like coconut to make it more like a coconut based chutney as well. Again, that goes with ghee.
Again, more ghee.
Yeah.
Butter.
Yes.
I guess that's where those long walks, I think, come in handy, right?
We need energies to go through
You
the
need energies
estates.
to go through the estate. This takes me right back.
Yeah.
So good. Breakfast was delicious and I quite liked the mackerel curry with akhi roti. After yet another big meal, I could have easily plonked myself in a cozy corner of this haven for a quick nap. However, there was more in store, including a tasting of artisanal coffees in a whole new avatar.